Hello ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here with kind of a different video. These are the top 5 games that I regret buying. Like, I can't sugarcoat this, and you're going to see the title of the video before you click on it, so there's really not a way that I can sugarcoat this. I can talk about this a little bit. So, there are games that I've picked up over the course of my gaming career. A lot of them I have actually traded in, back when I used to still trade in games. There are a lot of games that I traded in because I didn't think it was worth it at the time. It seemed a little obnoxious. It didn't seem quite as fun. And a lot of those games I do kind of regret trading in. As some of them I have traded in over my life, I've gone back and rebought. My Valkyrie Profile Story is one of those. Not that that's a game that I regret buying, but that's one that I traded in. I regretted trading it in and had to buy it for more. But these are games that I've managed to keep over the years that I wonder why. Because parts of the game are either frustrating or it just was really not what I was expecting or hoping, or I don't know. Each game is going to be a little bit different. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. These are really in no particular order in terms of, like, this is the one that I regret buying the most, because they're all kind of equal in a way. First off, Dark Savior on the Saturn. I know a lot of people are going to be very unhappy about this one because it's not a bad game. It has some bad mechanics and some bad ideas. It's one of those games that I think if it were released today with today's technology, it would have been a lot better. It was just severely limited and hindered. For those of you who don't know what our Dark Savior is, I don't remember what the other name for it is at the moment. It was not Dark Savior everywhere. It is, you play as a bounty hunter, you're on a ship transferring a monster, all hell breaks loose, your job is to now catch the monster. As the bounty hunter, you have the ability to capture people in battle. So you get into these weird, like almost Street Fighter-like 2D battles in a 3D. That's the problem. It's a lot of 2D meets 3D. The entire world is a 3D isometric world that you have to navigate. Your character is a 2D sprite that it's really, really difficult to navigate this game sometimes. And then, like I said, as the bounty hunter, you get into fights, and the fights are really on this like odd 2D 3/4 isometric view, so you're not moving like left and right, you're kind of moving into the background, into the foreground, and it's a fight, and it's like Street Fighter. You have a time limit, you have a health meter, you can do combos. It's a fighting game. It's a lot of things that are just kind of oddly mashed together, but you can recruit them and use them for future fights, and it seems one of those things, if I can beat them, why is it worth using them? Anyway, and then there's multiple endings, because it's all time-based. If you get to certain points in the game at certain time frames, it changes how things, which is a very interesting concept, but on your first playthrough is going to be immensely frustrating of what do I need to do to get where I actually want to go to progress. Not a bad game, just one that frustrated the hell out of me to the point to where I never picked it back up. I got like 2 or 3 of the endings and then never touched it again. Never. It sucks. It really does. But yeah. Next up we have the Mega Man Anniversary Collection. Now, the specifics on this, I'm going to state it's the GameCube version of this game. The collection itself is actually really well done. The GameCube version, however, is crap. Because on the GameCube, you've got the A and the B buttons for jump and shoot. One of them being a very large button, one of them being a very small button. And the problem is they are reversed from the order in which you are used to using them on the NES. And you can't switch it. at all. The GameCube version is the worst version of the three. This was available on GameCube, the original Xbox, and the PS2. And this version is the worst because it is the only one that switches the buttons for whatever reason, and it does not have the ability to remap buttons at all. I don't know why. But, you know, it is still one of the best Mega Man compilations they have. It's Mega Man 1 through 8 and 2 of the fighting game, like the Mega Man and Bass or Mega Man and Forte fighting games. So it's a good collection. It's got a lot of neat extras. I really think this is better than, you know, the Mega Man Legacy Collection that just recently came out because of all the extra stuff added to it. But this one game has aggravated me so much because the buttons are so unintuitive. It's so bad. So bad. Next up, another one that the game itself isn't bad, it's this version of the game. The Orange Box on Xbox 360. Now, this is technically 3 games. The one that I have the most problem with is Team Fortress 2. I bought this because I wanted to get into Half-Life. I never had a PC that was capable of PC gaming at the time, so a lot of these games were ones that I was just not following. Like Half-Life, I had a friend who was a huge PC gamer at the time and would not stop raving about the awesomeness that was Half-Life. But I never got a chance to play it because my computer was crap at the time. So the Orange Box came out. I was like, oh, I could pick it up on Steam. My computer still was kind of crap at that point. I'm like, I'm not gonna want to try that. So I picked up on the 360 because that was the console I had at the time. I hadn't quite picked up a PS3 yet. I'm like, 3 games for like, I think it was like $20 at the time. Not a bad deal. Like, that's as close as to Steam deals as you're gonna get on a console. It comes with Half-Life Episode 2, or Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Portal, and Team Fortress 2. The one that I spent the most amount of time playing was Team Fortress 2. I spent a very long time playing Team Fortress 2. And my problem with this game is the fact that Microsoft sucks when it comes to letting updates permeate games on their online space. So this version of TF2 is TF2 Vanilla. It has no alternate weapons, no hats, no nothing. You get your base weapon, your secondary weapon, your melee weapon. You don't get to change them. So for the Pyro, you are stuck with the default flamethrower. You don't get anything like the backburner or the Phlogistinator. For the sniper, you don't get the Hitman's Heatmaker or the Huntsman or anything like that. It's just sniper rifle for the sniper. That's it. You don't get any of the hats. You don't get any of the updates that balance things out for the game in certain ways. You don't get any of the new game modes or maps, anything like that, because Microsoft did not want to let free updates happen. And that was the thing. Valve wanted to give out these updates for free to keep the game going. Microsoft wanted to charge, and Valve called Microsoft's bluff, and Microsoft never that was it. Like, they played chicken, and Microsoft didn't blink. And what happened is they ended up crashing into a wall because Valve's like, yeah, we don't really want to do business with them if that's going to be how, like, it really hurt their working relationships because Microsoft was just like, let's get as much money as possible, and Valve's like, that's not how we do business. So I bought this, and I was actually really, really disappointed in the fact that one of the 3 games got nothing. And then I actually did start playing on the PC, and crap, just so much. Like, I never loaded TF2 up on the Xbox again after that. Never. I've still it's been years since I picked that up. Never done it. Next up, we have Evolution, the World of Sacred Device. This is the most watered-down turn-based RPG I've ever played in my life. It's got some cute mechanics, like you've got, the whole thing is these characters have these, like, ancient weapons that allow them to explore ancient ruins and It's got a unique story element to it, but it's just so bland and so watered down. And like, there's at this point in time, we had games like Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX. We had those. We had Panzer Dragoon Saga. We had the Shining series. We had Phantasy Star. We had so many things that combat had in-depth elements to. This game was one of the first on a Sega console to go, 3D and using. I believe this one had dungeons that were randomly generated, and that was part of the thing. Like, oh, it's and the sad thing is, it wasn't one of the first 3D ones. It was just one of the only ones on the Dreamcast, period. And it was just, there was no depth to combat. It just seemed very very spam the accept button. And then after a while, some of the charming things kind of just seemed weird. It's like, okay, so the main character has this thing that, attaches to a back, and it's a giant, basically, like, boxing glove, and he gets to punch people. It's like, okay, that seems cute at first, and then all of the things that, it's like, okay, it was just, I don't even know how to describe this game. I just know I never finished it. I never finished the sequel. I have the sequel, because I got it for cheap. But this is one of those games, like, I bought, and I wonder why. Why did I spend the money on this? Because everything about the game just seemed so. This is what you would imagine, like, the lowest end indie iOS Android type game to be like these days. Like, I got nothing nice to say about it. The thing is, the whole thing about this is, I don't even know why. I don't remember at this point. I don't remember why I dislike this game so much. But I know the second that I put it in the console and start playing it, I'm going to remember, and I'm going to wonder why I put it back in the console. Much like the next and last game on the list, Time Stalkers on the Dreamcast. We've joked about this one. We've talked about this one a lot. Culex and I have made so many comments during videos and streams and whatnot about Time Stalkers. Time Stalkers, I spent all of the money I had at that time to buy this game, because I was going to be away for 2 weeks, and had access to, a 2-week vacation, basically, to where it's like all I can do is really play games and, sit back and relax and enjoy myself. So I wanted an RPG, and Time Stalkers had just come out. I'm like, okay, it's got an elf with a rapier on the cover. It's got, HP and MP things on the back. Like, nothing about this screams that I shouldn't like this game. And then I get into the game, and everything about it pisses me off. So you travel through these dungeons that are randomly generated. You can get monsters to aid you. You kind of need to get monsters to aid you. There are multiple heroes that you can play that all have their own unique play style in terms of abilities. Like, you get the main character, who's like a swashbuckler. You get and they're all characters from other Sega properties. There are characters from Landstalker, Shining in the Darkness, early Climax Entertainment game characters, characters that were never released in the US, that all have their own unique play. And then you start realizing that it's obnoxious. It's kind of it takes elements from Diablo. It's taking elements from Pokemon. It's taking elements from other turn-based RPGs and taking the worst parts of them and mixing them together. So there's loot systems to where you can get better loot in these dungeons. The problem is, the second you leave a dungeon, you go back to level 1. And I'm not even joking about that. You revert back to level 1. So each time you leave a dungeon, you have effectively lose all of the progress you have just made. You can keep the equipment, but you can't use it because a lot of it is level specific. So you have to level back up as you go through, and they do make it so that when you go through dungeons, you can level up a little bit easier, but it's still, it's just recycling the same things over and over, because each new dungeon is the same dungeon you just previously went in, just you know, different aesthetics, but you are starting off at level 1 each time with the same basic equipment. It's just... The second I left the dungeon and realized I was back to level 1 and went back into the dungeon at level 1 and could not use any of the stuff that I just acquired in that dungeon, I stopped playing this game. I had a friend who played through it that summer. We hung out basically every day. He played through it, and I watched his playthrough, and so I could see what the story was, which the story has some interesting moments. It has some nice plot points to it, some good scenes that, you know, were all right, but I just could not bring myself to play it again after that. I could not bring myself to finish it. I've seen the ending multiple times, and I keep harping on Felix because he said he was going to, you know, let's play it at some point. And it's not happening because it's not a bad game. It just has some mechanics that frustrate the hell out of me. And I don't want to come across as like these games are terrible. These games are shit. They're nothing like that. These games all have redeeming qualities, redeeming features. You know, like I said, Stalkers has, you know, a very unique cast of characters, a very unique story. Evolution has some really charming character designs and weapon designs and abilities and things like that, but it just was not enough for me to look past the negative. Same with all of these other games, like Orange Box. It's great for Half-Life and Portal, not great for TF2. Mega Man, great games, just bad controls. And Dark Savior, again, a game that I wish had the advantage of better technology to showcase what they wanted to do. And that's the thing, like all of these games I think have some really, really redeeming qualities. They just have some really powerful shortcomings. And that's the thing, everyone's going to pick up a game that they're going to be like, I kind of regret that in a way, or it's not what at worst, it's not what I regret picking it up, just period. At best, it's not what I was hoping for. It didn't resonate with me in the way you would really hope it would, for the money you spent for it. So, and I know everyone has games like this, and I don't want, if one of these 5 games just happens to be your favorite game of all time, I do apologize that it's not my favorite game of all time, but it's a game that I just could not get 100% behind for whatever reason. And, you know, the thing is, one of these may be your favorite game, but, you know, one of my favorite games may be one of your most hated games. That's the thing. Everyone's going to have slightly different feelings on this. So try not to rip each other apart in the comment section. Try not to rip me apart in the comment section if, you know, our tastes do not perfectly align. But, you know, at the very least, there's going to be a game that you have played that you were like, why did I spend money on this? I kind of regret this. It's not for me. And I want to know your games. What games did you know, that did not resonate with you like you had hoped for? So I want to hear your comments in the comment section. You know, like I said, try to be nice. Don't rip each other apart. And, you know, all of that jazz that I'm going to start doing now because, you know, shameless promotion. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe, you know, all that. You know, if you like the video, please like it. It does, you know, the comments, the likes, subscribing, it really does help the channel grow. For those of you who do want to help support the channel directly, we do have the Patreon, we do have fan funding on YouTube as well. Things like that, you know, to help me buy more games that I hopefully won't regret, so that I can bring them to you in the form of Let's Plays or reviews or any of that. So, you know, gotta go with the self-promotion. I brought it up in a video, and now it's become something people are talking about, so I'm gonna start doing it. So, yeah, take that, capitalism. I don't know where I'm going with this, but let me know what your what game did you play that it either let you down, it didn't resonate with you, or you just outright hated it for whatever reason. I want to hear you guys' stories about this, because, you know, because these are 5 that I've played and, like, I really want to enjoy, and I just can't. I just can't. So I know everyone else out there has had similar experiences, so I want to hear yours. So till then, I can't wait to read your responses, and I will see you in the next whatever random video that it is I do. So till then, later everyone.